Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Sarah Gottfried. Welcome back to the Health Bridge. Pedram, are you with us?
I am here. Hi, everybody.
Hi. So excited to have you. And we have a guest today that I am thrilled about. We have Jackie Wicks in the room. We're going to be talking about how to cheat and win. Let me tell you a few things about Jackie before we bring her on. She is the founder of peertrainer.com. It's a really cool site. In fact, it was named one of the best sites to stay on a diet and lose weight by the US News and World Report. Also, O Magazine, one of my favorite medical journals. And she just wrote a new book. I'm so excited about this book. It's called The Cheat System Diet. So Jackie, welcome to our show.
Hi, thank you. So good to be here. So good to see you guys. I haven't seen you in a while.
Well, it's great to have you. And I love that you lead with cheating with your book. And I want to talk about what you mean by cheating and also how we can win this food game by cheating.
It's a great question because we hear about you can cheat with this meal, you can cheat with this day, and you can lose a ton of weight. But the cheat system diet wasn't about a cheat meal. It wasn't created around a cheat day. It was created because we watched all these thousands of people say, okay, I'm going to start today. I'm going to do it. And it's Monday. And they said, oh my God, I'm late for a meeting. I'm going to just get this apple fritter one last time. I mean, this is what I do. And a latte. And then the second they do that, they say, oh, I cheated. I might as well be done. I might as well just order Chinese for lunch and then everyone's having a large pizza for dinner. It was set up because everyone beat themselves up about cheating. And they said, it's done. I can't lose weight this week. You know what? I'm going to go off this week and then maybe I'll try next week. This was done so that your brain said, you know what? I can deal with this. This can be normal and I can still get back on track and stack the positives versus going down that spiral.
I love this because one of the things that always irks me about our culture is everything is so black and white, right? And gray is really where the fun happens. And I know you girls like to drink and dance and have a good time. And here we are, health and wellness people, right? And we like to enjoy life. And so let's talk about the gray because in our culture, really, it's either you're on or you're off. It's so binary and it's so impossible to live that way, right? Either you're a Puritan or a sinner, right? And it's
that's
kind of
exactly right.
Built into the fabric of how we think. And we obviously know that doesn't work.
Right. And the interesting thing that you said is on one end, you feel like, okay, those are I better go along with this commercial brand thing and have this whole wheat bread with this low fat mayo. And on the other end is this massive vegan, almost condescending, like, I can't believe that I'm at this dinner party and you didn't make me anything to eat. I mean, we have this huge middle, right? Where I'm like, well, you know what? I want a salad, but I want my bacon on it, which obviously, Sarah, we were talking one day and Sarah said, so how much bacon are you eating? And I said, I put a slice of bacon on my salad every single morning. She's like, one slice. And I said, yeah, my salad's so good. It has avocado, it's chicken. It's like a chop. It's almost like a chop house salad. And it's my favorite. And it's totally awesome nutrients with a lot of cheating in it.
Well, this really grabbed me, Jackie, and I want to call this out because this is one of those food swaps that I think is really powerful for people. This idea of having salad for breakfast. Most of us are having dessert for breakfast. That's what my kids prefer. And you got to reel them in and get them to start eating nutrient dense foods. And I love this salad idea. I have this visual, Jackie, of you in Boulder, Colorado, frying your one piece of bacon. It's like my adorable visualization of you. So I totally love this. So here's tip number one is basically you have your salad for breakfast, fry up a piece of bacon so that it adds a lot of flavor. And you've got the avocado in there. You're getting your MUFAs, your monounsaturated fat, which is so important. You've got your chicken in there and, of course, your greens. Yum.
I know. And I know it's hard for some people to say salad for breakfast. You've got to be kidding. And there's other ways to do it. I mean, you can do shakes, you can do eggs on top of lettuce. I mean, a lot of other countries do that. I know it doesn't seem like it's an easy thing to do, and it also takes a lot of work. You have to really figure out what you're actually going to do. You can't say, well, you know what? She said a salad, but I'm going to choke down that salad. if you're going to choke it down, you're not going to do it. You have to really figure out what's going to be the right makeup. A lot of people do eggs with an omelet with vegetables and really get that nutrient into, and, put goat cheese on top. But the biggest focus is, what are you actually going to do? Because everyone knows what they should do, but what they actually write down and what they actually do it can be a completely different story, which you both know.
Yeah, I love the concept of the cheat because of that. Because we all know people who've dieted, right? We've all dieted, right? And I just hate where my mind goes when I'm in that place of being like, oh, I need to be good. Oh, now I'm feeling guilty. And it doesn't need to be that way, because if food is stressful, eventually in a weak moment, you're going to snap. It's going to suck, and you're just going to, reach for the M&Ms or whatever it is that's around at that time. And so what I'm hearing here is there's some level of an allowance for you to be able to do that and then get back on the horse without having to say, well, I've obviously failed, so I'm going to eat that pumpkin pie next.
Right. And it's the same exact thing when it comes to exercise. We sit there and we beat ourselves up for not getting the babysitter that we needed to go to that class, or not running for 2 hours that day. And the fact is that if you start to do that, and I mean, as you all know, and you're stressed and your cortisol goes up, but Sarah always likes to say, but the biggest thing I can tell you is that if you're going to stress about not being able to get to your workout, that's like a double whammy. There's no reason. You're going to sit there, stress about working out. Then potentially you're sitting there saying, well, you know what? I didn't work out, and who cares again? Let me just eat the 10 pumpkin pies. It's this stacking that we tend to do. It's this thing where we say, you know what? I got one thing wrong. Everything else in my life is going wrong. Let me just fold it in. It's playing those tricks with your brain so that you say, okay, I can deal with that. I can deal with the walk. Listen, not only is it bad for you to think that you can run at a certain speed that you can't, right? You're going to run above your base. You're going to gain weight. You have to go with what you want. But the biggest thing I do have to say that I learned was, you don't get what you want, you get what you expect. So there was this exercise that we did, and someone said, how much weight do you want to lose? And people were like, 30 pounds, 40 pounds. And then the next question was, how much do you expect to lose? And someone said, well, I expect to lose about a pound, then I expect to gain it back, then I expect to go back to maybe half a pound, then I'm going to gain 10 because my sister-in-law's party's coming up. You have to you have to work with your expectations, and you have to really think. And the second you ask yourself that question, what do I want versus what do I expect, you can start working from there and taking the steps.
This is so good. I really like this piece. And, you're famous at puretrainer.com with really helping people with compliance, or, helping them stay on the path, which I think is so important. You're talking about the avalanche foods. You start with the apple fritter and it's just downhill from there. Or you start with the idea that you have about how much exercise you're going to get, and when it doesn't happen, the game is off. So I love this point that Pedram made about, the fun is in the gray. I want to come back to the allowance. Can you say a little bit more about, the cheat system and the allowance that people have, so that we have at least some headlines on how this works?
Absolutely. So it's simply a list. And the list on the left are all your eats, and on the right are all your cheats. And eats are completely unlimited. And I know what people think, well, I know what's unlimited. It's going to be a bunch of vegetables. But when you start to really look at that list and you see artichokes, or you see mushrooms, or you see salsa, you see sweet potatoes, you start to see those things. Oh, I remember that made really well. I can really like that. And that's completely unlimited. On the right side are cheats. You don't worry about fat. You don't worry about fiber. You don't worry about having this little slider to see what's going on. You only think about the calorie count. That's it for cheats. So one cheat is 100 calories. So unlimited on the left of eats. You get 10 cheats a day your first week, which is actually a lot if you think about it. And there's only 4 exceptions to the rule. The first exception is your first cup of coffee is an eat, and then it becomes a cheat. Your second exception to the rule is your first fruit is an eat, but then it becomes a cheat. And I'm sure you're thinking, fruit, cheat. Obviously we talk a lot about this and we discuss a lot about it in the book. The third exception to the rule is a good fat. The fourth exception to the rule is a lean, what I call traditional protein, whether it's an animal protein, egg, chicken, things like that. But what people have found, because we've had this sort of this framework out since 2009, and people have lost an average of 14.2 pounds over 3 months of people that just downloaded the framework. And we did the book so that we could really put together the plan, because everyone said kind of what you're saying, well, what can you eat? What are the parameters? And in the 3-week plan, it's 10 cheats the first week, 8 cheats the second week, 6 cheats the third week, but you get the opportunity to earn cheats, which people love.
How do you earn a cheat? That sounds awesome.
You eat a half a pound of greens after 5. That's it. That's one thing. The second thing is you write down I know this is going to sound crazy, but you write down what you appreciate every single day in your life for the week. You can earn a cheat for the week. The other thing is you can really bank your cheats. You don't have to say, okay, you know what, I better section this out every day. If you have a huge party coming up, you really stay in the eat plan and you bank your cheats for when you need them. What we found though is that the emphasis is really on the eats. When people see the framework, as they have a peer trainer for a while, one thing that they realize is, whoa, I'm looking at this list. I don't think I've had an eat in years. But they also feel comfortable saying it because a peer trainer, it's anonymous. So they can say, okay, you know what, I can't believe that this has been me. And they feel comfortable enough to start it, because then they can say, all right, you know what, I can deal with this. So I haven't had any, you know what, let me start now.
So Jackie, you're telling me I don't have to go to spin class to earn a cheat. I could actually write a gratitude list for a week and earn a cheat that way?
Yeah, your cortisol can go down. You can really appreciate. And the spin class, by the way, for so many people, if you're working out above your base, and we explain this in depth in the book, if you are working out above where your base is, where you can really go at that pace, you'll put yourself in a weight gain mode, not a weight loss mode. Pain equals gain. We worked with Phil Maffetone for a while and Stu Middleman, and Phil Maffetone actually coached Mark Allen. Mark Allen is the 6-time winner of the Hawaii Ironman. When Phil first started working with him, he was running maybe a 6 to 7 minute mile. He was getting injured every single month. He was getting sick. He couldn't get faster. And afterwards, he was dumping his body with cortisol. And what Phil did is he slowed him down to a 10-minute mile. Can you imagine this kind of athlete slowing down that much? And everyone said, what are you doing? You're ruining him as an athlete. And because he slowed him down, he started to build the base where his body was actually at that place. And he absolutely credits this methodology with helping him win every single time. So that's what I want you to do on the cheat system. I want you to understand where your base is. And we have 10 simple questions. There's all these fancy tools I can give you that you can understand how to do it. But it can be really simple. It can be as simple as, are you getting injured every month? Do you crave a large Coke and a cheeseburger right after your workout? I don't mean, are you hungry? I mean, you're going to kill somebody if you do not get that bowl of pasta. And when you just start asking these simple questions, one of the most significant questions is this: when you're working out, do you have blinders on? Do you feel like, oh, I better just look forward to get this workout done? Or can you actually look around? And that's when you really understand you're working out at your base and you're actually on the path to weight loss versus churning, burning, pain, gain, destroying your weight loss efforts.
Okay, so this is juicy. For a guy who comes from the meditation side of the spectrum, it's really fun to see how people throttle, right? Like, I'm an A personality, just kicking butt all day long, just trying to make that money and do all this stuff, and I'm banging through life trying to be successful, and I can't stop and decelerate for anything, including my fitness, including my diet, including anything. And you get this kind of alpha mentality in people that basically burns them out in everything they do. I can't tell you how many of these guys, famous guys, and I'm not going to mention any names, But, I'm in Southern California. I got a lot of these elite athletes that would come into our clinics, and they'd come in and they'd be like, kind of captain of the team sort of thing in the lobby. And then when we'd finally get in the room, they'd be like, hey man, I haven't had a decent erection in 6 months. And everything is kind of burning from the inside down, and they're killing themselves. And we actually did a bunch of metabolic testing on people in these CrossFit gyms around town, and we went to a bunch of them and said, hey, you're burning their sugar and cortisol and you're killing these guys. You got to slow down.
Exactly.
And they didn't want to hear it. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, addiction circuitry and injuries. You guys are great for the economy. You're killing your clients.
I mean, you couldn't have nailed it more, and you know that. And what's interesting is that people also have this mentality when you talk to them and say, listen, you're working out above your base, you're burning yourself out, you're getting injured, you're having the exact opposite effect that you want. And you know what they say? But Jackie, I'm stressed out. Are you telling me you're going to take away my workout now? That's the only way I can even get out of my head. And they work out as hard as they can. And then they just ingest as much sugar as they can. I do want to actually bring up an exception. There are a tiny, tiny percentage of people that can work out that hard, that can do CrossFit, that can run, and they are not burning themselves out because they've actually built their body to that base. The problem is as you know, as you just spelled out in your clinic, is that 99% of people can't. And what they do is they say, okay, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to get that video, that P90X, or I'm going to go out and run 3 miles. I have a story in my book. I started running 4 miles a day thinking, well, I got to step this up. I'm going to run 4 miles a day. And I watched the scale go up every single day until it went up 8 pounds. And I said, the scale's broken. I'm running. This can't be happening. And that it's exactly what it's so true what you said, and we see it all the time.
This is great. Well, I'm going to have my sexy librarian moment here to recap some of these awesome ways to cheat and win. Okay. So number one, you made this point, Jackie, we all cheat. And Pedram, I like how you added in the fun happens in the gray. Like it's not black or white. Number two, salad for breakfast. I want all of you to have this visual of Jackie frying her one piece of bacon. Try it with the chicken and the avocado and the greens. Number three, you won't get what you want, you get what you expect. I think that was such a truth bomb. Thank you for that, Jackie. Number four, we talked about allowance, the eats versus cheats. And you made this point about the 14.2 pound weight loss that you've seen at peertrainer.com. Then number five, understand where your base is. And I think you're so right that so many of us are not working at our base. We're going way above it. And for 99% of us, that just doesn't work. Pedram, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I just want to say, look, we've been watching what you guys are doing over there, and I love it because Sangha is community, right? It's kind of like a basic Buddhist precept, and people need people in a non-judgmental way to do it. So if you're out there listening to this and you've tried running and gained weight, or the things that you're doing aren't giving you the intended results and you're getting frustrated, maybe you're just doing the wrong things. And I highly recommend checking out what's happening over with Jackie over at peertrainer.com and just see what it is that might be done differently. Look at the cheats and the eats and all these types of things and see if that can work for you. And we actually over at healthbridgeshow.com have some links for you as well to hook you up with her new book and all sorts of stuff like that. So we're just, we're big fans, and we don't bring people on the show unless they're awesome. So we're just stoked to have you here.
Oh, thank you. Obviously, being with you guys is always the best, but we need to get together and dance and do something next time.
Yeah, I have vodka on my cheat list for sure.
Have you put in the recovery margarita? With a local tequila, local Boulder tequila, blueberries, mint, so good.
That's so good.
People, you see why we love her.
That's right, that's right. And we're going to dance at our base. We're not going to dance above our base. We're going to dance at our base.
Exactly, where we're still having fun. It's great to be with you guys.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jackie. So everyone, head on over to healthbridgeshow.com to learn more about Jackie and her book that I'm so excited about. Pedram, you want to say goodbye?
I do want to say goodbye, but I don't. Jackie, we love you. We will see you again, and always awesome to hear that you guys are still rocking it and helping people out there.
Love it. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jackie. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.